Hi guys, Jason from JVA Carpy Adventures and welcome to part 2 of Build Your Own Power Barrow. I'm hoping part 1 really whetted your appetite and you're keen to see what part 2 holds. Well, I'll let you know straight off the bat, part 2 is literally going to be about wiring up for the first time and testing. That's it, but I'm going to go through step by step guys to make it really simple for anyone that's not used to this sort of thing and would like a little bit of guidance, or anyone interested in purchasing one of these kits and would like to know what's involved. So I'm going to try and make it as clear and as straightforward as possible guys. So I think the first thing really is just to reacquaint you with what kit I've got. So I'll give you a little picture up here. It is the cheaper one off of AliExpress. It's a 24 volt 350 watt version, and as you may or may not have seen, this weekend I went to Alt Technologies as can't really do any testing or anything without a suitable power source. Now I am going to do a separate vlog with regards to power source really guys, but I'll do a quick little intro of I've gone to Alt Technologies and got one of their LiFePO4 batteries, so lithium phosphate batteries, sorry guys, and the one I've got is, sorry guys I probably held that upside down, the one I've got is a 24 volt 10 amp version guys. Now this isn't one that's currently on Alt Technologies website, they've done it for me as a test battery, but I've been told that they are going to introduce it as the base model into Power Barrow batteries, so that would be a 24 volt 10 amp battery. So no two batteries, no two 12 volts joined together or anything like that, a straight dedicated 24 volt 10 amp battery. That's going to be my test battery for all the process until I'm near the end, and then Alex has said we will be testing some higher ampage batteries, and I will be showing you the testing on those guys if you're interested in that sort of thing. Okay guys, so I just want to quickly reintroduce you to all of the kit. So firstly we have a 24 volt 350 watt motored hub. As you can see, I've got it set up on some mock forks which we did in the last episode. This is because when you first wire this up, that wheel, the minute you turn the key on, is going to rotate in one direction or the other. Now, if you have this on your forks coming out on the right hand side, then the tread should be going forward guys, okay? So this is the way we want it to turn. Now I know it is going to turn that way because I've already set it up once, but I'm going to force it into the wrong way just so I can show you how to do it the right way. But, so, first part of the kit is the 24 volt 350 watt hub. Then I'll show you the other bits. I'll take it off the tripod guys. The main part is obviously this little bad boy. This is the controller. So it's not big guys, it's a small little controller and does work very well. It's good for 24 volt, 36 volt, 48 volt, 52 volt and 60 volt, and between 10 and 20 amps. So that's the controller. You're not going to get anywhere without a thumb throttle. This one has a key as well as a voltmeter, so that's really good to see where you're at. And my kit also comes with an electronic brake guys, so I'm going to show you how to set all of those up today. Okay guys, so if you work through the manual, the first set of instructions it will tell you to do is to wire up the wheel. So quite straightforward really. So all we're going to do, I've put the other stuff to one side. We've got the controller. There's a plug on here. I'll try and get them all in good view for you guys. But there's a single white plug here and 3 chunkier wires which are yellow, blue and green guys. Now these correspond to the matching colour and plug on the wheel, so that part couldn't really be any simpler. You're simply going to put the white plug from the wheel into there. You've got the green wire, it's going to go to the green wire, yellow to the yellow and blue to the blue. So that one really is as simple as it could be on that one, guys. It's not difficult at all. So that is literally the wheel wired in now, guys. So the next part is actually the throttle, and that's not too tricky either. So let's just put that to one side, so we know we've got the wheel already on. Now the throttle, I'll start with what wires the throttle's got. Let's put it to one side for now. So the throttle has a 3-pin black plug and then a yellow and blue wire. Now these are male and female bullet connectors, and first of all you need to look for the 3-pin wire, the plug, and it's not too tricky to find, guys, because on here you'll see there's a little white label and it actually tells you throttle handle. Now the wires on here, just so you know, are red and white, blue and white and black. Don't worry about too much what way round they go. On the plug there is a little ridge, which means you can only plug it in one way, and that's like that. Now from the first episode you would have seen in the package they give you a little plug that goes into the green one. So we attached that on the last episode. It is an orange and red wire, which is actually going to go to a blue and yellow wire. Now don't worry about it too much. All you've got to think is there is a male and a female. So the orange is going to go to the blue and the red is going to go to the yellow. And that's it. Now you've also got the throttle wired in. So that's pretty straightforward, guys. Now the next part is we're going to leave the brake off just for now, guys. I just want to show you quickly how this is set up so quickly, but I know the wheel is going in the correct direction at the minute, so off camera I'm just going to force it to go in the wrong direction, just in case that's what you get when you power yours on. Okay guys, so I'll pause it for a second. Alright guys, so we've wired in the wheel, we've wired in the throttle. When you do it for the first time, you've got to have these wires connected, and when you do, the minute you turn this key on, that wheel is going to, sorry, just realised you haven't got the wheel in view. So that wheel that you've got in view is going to rotate. Now at the minute I've actually set it so it will rotate backwards, and that's the wrong way. So what you'd need to do, sorry it's a little bit out of shot now guys, but this wire, I'm going to probably zoom out a little bit guys, I think, because I want you to be able to see the wheel as well as me doing the wire. So first off, I'm going to turn the key on. This will energise the wheel. You'll see 29 volts on here because the battery's full, and you'll see the wheel is going backwards. Then what you've got to do, within 5 seconds, this intelligent wire you can see down here, disconnect and then reconnect, and then the wheel will go forwards. At that point you can disconnect it and turn it all off. So we're going to do that guys. Hope I'm not confusing anyone, but the first thing is we've wired up the wheel, we've wired up the throttle, turn it on, that wheel registers 29 volts and it's now going backwards. That's the wrong way. So within 5 seconds you've got the intelligent wire here, unplug it, reconnect it, and it will now go forwards. After it's done that, leave it for 5 seconds running forwards guys. That lets it know that's the direction you want it to go. Then disconnect that intelligent wire. That then re-engages your throttle. So now I'm going to lean on it a bit more because I've only put one clamp on it. Now if I move this forward, that's the wheel going forward, and obviously you can do that quite a bit more. Yeah, that's full speed I think there guys. So it kind of sounds like there's about, I know there's a 3-speed version, but it does kind of sound like you've got 3 kind of speeds on that. I would say that's slow, that would be medium, and that would be fast. Well, now it is a bit more variable. But there you go guys, I don't know if you'll see that, that's 29 volts on that. So now we've done that part, the next part is now the low level brake. Now I'm going to turn this off for a second and just talk to you about the low level brake guys, because when I first plugged it in, so I plugged it in at Alt Technologies, it stumped me a bit. It's got one wire, red and black wire, and it goes to the one on the controller which is yellow and black. It does say on it guys, it's got one of those little white tags on it that does tell you low level brake. Brilliant, no worries. So it's simply a case of putting this plug to the plug down here. It can only go on one way, so you're not going to get it wrong. But here's the weird thing about it guys. So if I turn this on, so I'm going to turn it on guys. It's a bit awkward to do it all in one movement, but I'm going to turn this on. So now in the normal world, if you operated, sorry I'm going to need to do this in view aren't I? If you operated the brake, like now, the brake is operated, that would stop, and it doesn't at all, not even slightly. So the only way this works guys is when you are using this. So if I keep the throttle in that position, I'm not going to keep it hard, and then I actuate the brake, there you go. And what I want to see is it really locked up? No. So that would roll if it was heavy, but it does stop the brake. If I let go, it rolls. If I go faster, so it does brake, but it's not like a brake how we would think is really super strong. So, sorry guys, out of view. So I'm probably not likely to even use it guys, if I'm honest. I don't see the purpose of it. So really the only things you're going to wire in is the wheel and this throttle assembly, and we've already done that guys. We've already changed the direction. If you initially turn it on and it goes in reverse, just disconnect the white wire, reconnect it, leave it on for 5 seconds, then turn it off, and that'll be it. So it really is quite simple to wire all this up guys, it's not difficult at all. Let's turn that off. Now I'm going to disconnect the low level brake because I don't really see the point of it, if I'm honest guys. I don't know if there's versions that have like a disc brake on the side or something like that. That might be better, but for me, I'm not certain that's going to have any effect on it at all. So there really isn't a lot of wiring guys. You know, I'm showing you what there is, and you've got the throttle wire here, so the throttle wire here, and then if I go down a bit more, you've got the hub wire in here, and then the power. That's it guys. It's really simple to wire up. Anybody could do it, and they do give you pretty good instructions that go with it as well. So yeah, quite happy with that guys. I don't think there's any need for major testing past this point, but what I will say is I'm going to show you the battery a little bit better. I'm going to disconnect this all back up, and the one thing I will say guys is that I'm not overly happy about all these connections and all that you see here. When I've decided that's what I'm going to use and that's how I'm going to use it, I won't use the little bullet connectors that they give you and all that sort of stuff. If I'm going to permanently wire it up, I'd rather solder the wires together than use connectors. So I will solder them, and I will also use shrink tube. So that's simple enough. So I've just disconnected the key. That's simple enough. Then just to disconnect the wheel, simple enough. None of this is difficult guys, I've got to be honest. It's really simple. And then just the plug. Simple. So now we're back to all the components being single. Okay guys, so since this part is generally about wiring and testing, I also want to include connectors on this. Now most of you guys will need to take your barrow apart if you're putting it in and out of a car or a smaller van or stuff like that. I'm fortunate enough, I don't really need to take my barrow apart. I kind of do just wheel it in and wheel it out, or bump it up the step and pull it down. So I don't actually need to take my barrow apart, but I do like to take my handles off, so the handlebars off, guys, simply because it allows me to move the barrow further back and gives me a bit of access to my bag, so the barrow bag, which I do pack differently depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I definitely want to have one for this thumb controller, so I'm definitely going to be having a connector on that, preferably a waterproof one, because that will be on the outside. And I also think that I'd like to put everything within a waterproof housing and just have one plug coming out of that, which would then give me just a quick plug to go in and out. And if I wanted to take the whole battery and controller off in one go, either for charging or just to keep it in the bivvy at night rather than leave it on the barrow, I think that's a good idea. You may not worry about it, guys, or it may not be your concern, but that's what I'm going to do. So with most of the wires that aren't going to be connected to a connector or an external connector, I will probably end up soldering those wires together, guys, rather than leaving the plugs in between. There's no need for me to do that. I can, you know, solder everything up. Now, if you're someone who hasn't soldered ever before, but you'd like to try, I am going to show you when I start doing it how I solder, guys. You know, it's not incredibly difficult, but there are other options. I'm going to show you one now. If you're new to soldering and you're not confident with it and you want to join two wires, one of the options you have is to get a pack like this. I'll take them out. So you can get connectors like this, guys, and essentially, there you go. So essentially you would strip an end off of each of your wires, twist them together, put the twisted part through this, and then just heat it, and that will create a basic soldered joint. There are instructions on YouTube and that sort of things how to use those sort of connectors. I have them for an emergency, but I do have a soldering station, guys, so I would be soldering all of my connections. Also for the waterproof plugs, whatever ones or connectors I decide to use, in a lot of them you can just crimp the wires on. So you could buy a crimp tool, strip a wire, put it into the plug, crimp it, and that would be your connector. I will probably be doing the same thing, but when I put the wire into pin, I will just solder it on, guys. It just gives a bit more stability for me, and I'm not worried about, you know, if there's any force on the wire or anything like that, that it may come off. But it's up to you how you do yours, guys. I will show you how I'm going to do it all the way along, and you know, it's up to you if you choose to do it that way or simplified way. You know, I do want this guide to be as easy as anything so anyone can follow it. That said, the next step I'm going to do is actually I'm going to make my forks myself. So I'm going to retain my original forks with the wheel on, just in case I ever decide I want to go back to it or I ever want to use it or stuff like that. So I'm actually going to make my own, but let's go into that on the next episode. So I'm just going to show you up on the screen, guys, a few of the different connectors you can get that would be suitable for this application. Now I'm probably going to go for a waterproof one. I will say one of the guys on the Barrow conversion forum, really nice guy, Alan Sizemore, has put up a post up recently showing that he'd had the connectors that I was looking at getting, and he feels, you know, they're maybe not as strong as he would want, so he might be changing them to aviation connectors. So I might be going that way as well, guys, to be fair. Now I'm not certain if they're 100% waterproof or not, so I'm going to look into all that and I'll give you an update on that on the next episode. Also, guys, just let you know about a little tool I decided to buy, which I think is quite cool. I don't know if I should be able to show you how it works. Alright, guys, so essentially it looks like a pair of pliers. It's got a little thing here that allows you to set the distance between them. So it will just hold at a certain distance, but what is cool about them, I'm not sure you're going to get it all on camera, I will try, is it's got little grips here. And the idea behind that is, if you want to solder two wires together, you could literally have them both held by this, set your distance apart, so I would probably have them a bit wider apart like that, have another wire coming in from the other side, guys, and you'll be able to solder them. Hi guys, so this is the lithium iron phosphate battery, so LiFePO 4 battery that Alt Technologies will be doing. This is a 10 amp version. I believe there's going to be a 15 amp version and an 18 amp version, guys. I'm going to be testing all three on this Barrow conversion when it's all ready, guys. So at the end, stay tuned to all the episodes, see how we get along. There is a reason why I've gone from the lithium iron phosphate, guys, and that is because out of all the lithium ion batteries, they are the absolute safest, and that's really important. You know, they don't catch a light or stuff like that, they don't get really hot, and all, they don't suffer with some of the other problems you can get with lithium batteries, guys. So even though they may seem expensive, in the long run they are your absolute best bet. And obviously they weigh a lot less than two 12 volt lead acid batteries put together, and they're small, as you can see. And also it doesn't matter what way round you put them up or anything like that, guys, you can position them anyway. So they're very versatile and they're a really good battery. Okay guys, so if you are new to my channel, can you please hit that subscribe button? It really helps me out, guys. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to my channel. If you've enjoyed this short wiring and testing vlog, give it a thumbs up, guys, please. And if you want to be notified of future posts, which I'm sure you do if you're following this Build Your Own Power Barrow series, hit that bell icon, guys. So only leaves me to say, stay safe, stay fishing, and I'll see you on the next vlog.